All right, ladies and gentlemen, after a MIVA Media Day, we are starting with an EIVA Media Day, and today we have our representatives from Princeton. If you guys want to go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Sam Shweisky, head coach.
Owen Mellon, number 22 on Princeton men's volleyball.
Well, Coach, I'm going to start with you. After last season, you guys make it all the way to the EIVA championship, but fall short one game away from the NCAA tournament. What can you take from last year's success and bring into this 2026 season?
Yeah, I think we had two really special seniors captains last year in Nero Mene and Henry Wedbush. And aside from their volleyball ability, they just really set a great tone of the culture and the drive and kind of the commitment that it takes to try to succeed. And so, seeing how well we did, I was actually talking to Nero yesterday. He's playing professionally in Germany, and we were just talking through like how hard that is to get that message across. And I think the guys understand, anytime we bring up that Penn State match, everyone kind of just drops their head and goes, yeah, no, God, it was right there and it slipped through our fingers. And, I was saying to Nero yesterday, there's not a guy on the bench or on the court or on the bench or part of the team that wouldn't give anything to have another chance at that game. And it's hard sometimes during the season when it's like, hey, we're on break. Are you lifting? Are you training? Are you working? But just remembering that match, I think gives us a lot of fire and kind of focus to try to bring it into this year.
And then Owen, just that takes us right into it. You are one of the senior leaders on this team, trying to fill the shoes of Nairo Mene. What are you focused on this season to bring that same kind of fire that we saw Mene bring last season and help Princeton return to last year's success?
I'd say there's definitely a difference between this year and last year. There was, some big shoes to fill, and I think everyone's been doing that in different parts and here and there. So we've been trying our best, and I think we had a great fall to bring our season to a start, and we're excited to play. But yeah, there definitely is that almost like stinging feeling about last year, and it everything was in place, and we felt good going into the game, and we just fell short. And that's too bad and something we have to live with. But I think the best motivation is just using it as fire coming into this next season.
Well, looking ahead into this next season, you guys are about to head off to Toronto, Owen, where you grew up. What about being able to play in Canada to start off your season? Just what does it mean to be able to play those matches where you grew up?
Oh, I'm so excited. Like, all my friends and family are going to be at these games, and we're filling up the stadium or the gyms to have everyone there. But no, it's going to be really special to have my whole team who I've been with for 4 years, like in the place where I grew up. Some of them in my house and everything, and so I'm really looking forward to it. There's been a lot of planning going through to make sure this runs smoothly, and a lot of work, not just by myself, but by my parents and other people. And it's a big organized event, but I couldn't be more excited to have my team here and to play some Canadian schools.
Well, if you don't mind, I ask a little bit more about that. What it takes to get this collaboration between Canadian teams and NCAA teams. I feel like that's a connection, especially on the East Coast with the how close we are, that we should be seeing more of. So what is it taking for you guys to make these games happen to start the season?
Well, I think it first off takes like connections. Like I grew up, I played for Pac-Man Volleyball Club. So I'm a Canadian, and I knew all these coaches, right, with recruiting and everything like that. The one team we're playing, TMU, Nico Rukavina, hit the head coach of TMU. He kind of developed me as a player. I joined him when I was 12, and he brought me through, and he was my coach, and then ended up going to TMU. But I think it takes connections, and I think these matches are going to open the door to the potential for Canadian players to maybe see a US school come in and see how things are done. But I think overall, I think really excited and excited to have the team here. So it'll be great.
Coach Sam, you got something? The ability to go play in Canada for the start of your season, just to get a good baseline of what to expect out of your team this season.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean the connections that Owen had with some of these Canadian coaches was obviously sort of the first bridge to cross and just getting in touch with them and things like that. But then Owen, as he mentioned, him and his parents have just put together I think his dad and I have been going back for months, sort of trying to work on this thing, and just a tremendous amount of work that's gone into it. So a huge thanks to the Mellon family for hosting us. And that's something we try to do with any guy that comes in our program that is from a place that has volleyball. I feel bad for some of the guys that are from places that don't really have any volleyball around their area per se. But we go to California every year for our California guys. We try to make it out to Arizona or to anywhere that that has a team. And so for Owen, it was like, yeah, there's volleyball up where I'm from. Okay, let's try to get there. And I think it's a beautiful thing culturally, right? Like everyone brings their own personality and their culture to the team, and we're sort of a beautiful melting pot of all those different identities. But it's so cool to take people back to your hometown and your home where you're from and sort of show them. Back when we played more Division III teams, we would take the team into New York City to play NYU, and I would take the team to where I grew up in New York City. And it's just a really cool thing that I'm really excited that we're going to get to do. And the volleyball is going to be great. These Canadian teams are in the middle of their season, so they've been playing. I think they start around October maybe, but they're sort of right cooking in the middle of their season. It's a different ball. It's a different environment. There's a lot of the stresses that we get to experience on an international trip are going to be present here, and so we're excited to look forward to that. We keep saying in our gym, stress is good. Any kind of stress, any kind of different thing is valuable because developing the tools to work through that stress is what's going to help us as we go through the season. So yeah, we can't wait. I got to pick up all the local slang. Owen's going to teach us a bunch of things. I already learned toque, I think, right? We got some toques for the guys.
Yeah.
So we're looking forward to it.
I love it. I love it. And you mentioned the guys that you're bringing in. Even though you're on the East Coast, you bring guys in from all across the country. What about this program, this school attracts so much talent from really all over?
Yeah, I mean, I can take only partial credit. The school is pretty incredible. Princeton University, I think ranks number 1 in U.S. News and World Report. I think 13 or 14 years in a row. We had a career day a few weeks back where alums came back and just seeing how successful and how incredible the Princeton brand is and the networking is. I think young guys who have mindset past volleyball, we're very excited that a lot of our guys are playing professional. We have 4 guys actually, 2 in Germany with Cody Kessel and Nero Mene, and then 2 in Croatia with Ben Harrington and Henry Wedbush. But for the lion's share of the guys, most of them after college, even if they play maybe a year or two, they move on. They do something really special in the professional world, and that's what kind of Princeton opens up for them. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, we get a lot of responses from almost every guy that we reach out to, and it's pretty cool. Obviously, as we've dipped into the international market a little bit, if you can count Canada as international, it was great. When I remember when Mellon in his recruiting visit just came and just was like, "Yeah, this we don't know exactly all the things that this place can offer, but it sounds amazing." So, yeah, have to give a lot of credit to Princeton and what it affords us.
Well, what about Princeton this year? Should be a team that should be feared in the EIVA.
That's a good question. I think we're finding our identity. Our identity, I think last year was really centered around these 2 4-year starters, 4-year all conference players, and they took up a lot of space in a really good and positive way. And I think Owen and his fellow captains, we have 6 captains, which we are proud is more than the football team. So about a third of our team are captains, and I think it's an exciting thing because on our team we try to say that everyone can have a role and can add value to the team. And so I think Owen and his other seniors and the other captains have been doing a really nice job of pushing to find what that identity is. I think now is when we're going to figure that out, right? I think it's actually when the stress hits, when the bright lights. I mean, we've got some big games in Canada, then we head to California for some big games. I think we're going to start to see what that is. And my hope is that they fear the work ethic in improving over the course of the season. I think, we hope that we're a different team in April than we are in January, and that's going to be the exciting thing of what we can do, over the course of the year. And I also think the benefit, it's funny, some guys we reflected on, last year, it's like, wow, maybe did we set Nero too much? It's like the guy was getting 4.5 kills a set and hitting like,
Hmm.
400, 500. So I don't think we set him too much, but it did make us one-dimensional in a lot of ways, right? And so I think with a more balanced offense this year, we could have 3, 4 different guys going off on different nights. That kind of could make us harder to scout and could make us more difficult to defend.
Yeah. And then Owen, same question to you. You're the one on the court. You're one of the captains. You've got that fire from the end of last season going into this year. Why is Princeton a team that should be feared in the IVA?
I think we're a really close team. I think we've bonded a lot as a team, and we're feel very together and connected. And I think that's going to carry us through a lot. Like Coach said, I think we're finding our identity a little bit, but I don't think that's not going to stop us this year. And I think we're going to have great opportunity to feel this stress coming into the Toronto games, and really going to find what works for us. And so I think our connection on and off the court is crucial for us. And I think that's going to show in the season coming up.
So I want to talk about your connection because when you watch a Princeton men's volleyball game, there's something that stands out to me compared to other teams across the team. Doesn't matter if you win a point, doesn't matter if you lose a point, you will be coming together and you'll be jumping up and down. Coach Owen, where does that come from? What philosophy do you bring that from?
Well, yeah, I'll give you the iteration of it. It started back when I was playing club volleyball. I played for Warren Six Pack out of New Jersey, and we're going up against a team of Pace, a bootlegger. And it was the finals. It was like 10, 11 o'clock. It was late. Back then, we played side out scoring back then. So club games could go forever. It was like 10, 11 o'clock at night. We had beaten Long Island in the semifinals. We're playing Pace in the finals. And we were outmatched. I mean, there was no way that we could really compete with this team, and we knew that. And they knew that. Everyone knew that. And I was talking to my buddy before the game, and I said, "What if we just like cheered after every point and just kind of went nuts?" And he was like, "Oh, let's do it." And we did it, and we had so much fun, and we played so well, and we didn't look at the score. We just cheered after every point, and it really kind of bothered Pace quite a bit, and it just kind of fired us up. And so that's something that I took to Princeton, 17 years ago, and there's been different iterations of it. I think this current iteration, that's the sort of generic philosophy, is that the last point is gone, and we're excited to play the next point. And I think this latest one, Owen could maybe back me up. I think the jumping in a circle maybe started in Hawaii 2 years ago. I think sometimes we just see different things we like and we can sort of incorporate in, but the overall philosophy is like the last point is gone, cheer, get excited, we get to play some more volleyball. And it is something that we've become known for. And we kind of know when we are playing true Princeton volleyball that we're in the zone, we're kind of in the pocket. That's when we're playing our best.
Yeah, I would say it really speaks to the culture coach has built. He like freshman year, I'm coming in and I've never played this style of volleyball before where, you know, the goal of it is to keep everything light and to keep us focused. And you make a mistake, like it's all good. We're playing volleyball at Princeton, like, not the end of the world. Um, so and it's great too because like we've seen the history of it as well. Like coach will show us clips of I don't know, Brady Wedbush getting just hitting as hard as he can right into a block goes right up to the ceiling and him cheering as loud as he can. And then the other team looking confused and upset, but they won the point, but it kind of throws them off. But yeah, the point is it keeps everyone light and in the game and grateful for what we're doing.
I love that. I love that. So, what should fans expect when they tune into a Princeton men's volleyball game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's hopefully our calling card is that if you're not paying attention when the point ends, you shouldn't be able to tell if we won or lost the point. It happens to me in practice sometimes, particularly a ball that goes ball tight to the net, gets locked straight down, but you can't tell if it was on which side of the net it was. And both teams cheer. And I'm like, okay, well, whose ball was it? They're like, oh, we assume it's ours and we assume it's ours and we're just playing. So I think that's kind of the fun energy that we hope that we bring. I think something we started last year was a bit more of a focus on block and defense. Our new assistant, and not so new, he's been here 3 years now, Joe Norton, has done an incredible job with block and defense. And so, but part of that is technique, and part of it is strategy, and part of it is scouting, and then part of it is just heart and guts, right? Like how hard do you want to dig every ball? And so that's something that we really want to try to improve on and improve. And so, yeah, I think hopefully they'll see a gritty team that works hard and has a lot of fun. And I think it's going to be interesting. I think we have a lot of guys pushing for playing time, which is going to be exciting, and I hope that pushes to see different combinations, and it could be on different nights. It could be, well, against this team, this is the combination, maybe more ball control team, or on certain nights, maybe a more physical team. We could see some different combinations, which gets us excited as coaches that we have multiple guys that can come in and do some exciting things on any given night.
Owen, same question.
Yeah, similar to coach. I think they should expect us to play with joy and to play um to really look like we're enjoying the game, and because we are. And I expect them to see a fight in us, to scrap for every point. Like Coach said, blocking defense is huge on our team, and we're really putting an emphasis on it this year. But yeah, overall, I think it's playing with joy and lifting up our teammates, and you know, not letting a mistake affect the whole team. And so, yeah.
So obviously, coach, you've got Owen on the Zoom, senior leader. Who else should we be looking out for on Princeton this year?
Yeah, I think the list is long. I think in the other seniors, you've got Andrew Warner is another senior outside hitter, a pin hitter that's going to be pretty exciting. I think this year going to do some things. You've got Ryan Vina is a senior middle blocker. I think he's a 4-year starter, and I think he was second team all EIVA. Returning, you've got Rowan Alviar, who was, I think, honorable mention all EIVA last year, and he's a great libero for us. Tristan Whitfield in the middle, along with Ryan Vina, and then Ethan Wells is probably our third middle in that kind of tri-middle rotate. Mason Rice returns for a sophomore year after a great freshman year. I think he was second team All EIVA. Ambrose Engling was a freshman last year, didn't play a ton, but has done some really nice things in the fall. Jeremiah Arrow is a really physical, great opposite hitter from Chicago as a freshman. And then there's two setters. There's Nolan Kelly coming into his junior year and coming into his own now that he gets a chance to do some things. And then we have a freshman, Sebastian Daste, coming in to compete with him at the setter spot. So I think those are the majority of the guys. Owen, am I missing anybody? Any key contributors you can think of?
No, that seems pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like a lot of guys that I think all have a chance to impact the court, and there's more guys beyond that probably have a chance as well. But those are probably the core guys that I'm thinking of right now.
Well, and then Owen, obviously you've got the Toronto games coming up, and obviously you can't circle every match on the schedule as in what you're looking forward to. But what about this season? What about the 2026 season are you most looking forward to?
Oh, I love going to California. I love the setup we have there. Staying with teammates. I'm excited to play USC because last year they were it was a really fun experience. And I'm excited to be in our home gym in Dillon, and having teams come in. I'm excited to play, Penn State, Harvard for our Ivy League kind of rivalry there. But yeah, I'm mostly excited to play in Dillon. I think it's a great atmosphere. I love, having friends and family be there to see our games, and yeah, I'm excited for it.
Coach, same question to you. What are you most looking forward to about this 2026 season?
Yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to kicking things off in Toronto. I think that's a really special thing that I'm excited for. I think the TMU match is going to be great, but the McMaster match at Owens High School, I think, is going to be really special. The fact that we were able to get his high school, I think it only holds 250, and that may ever to be sold out. I mean, it's going to be really a sort of packed event. That's going to be really special and really fun. And then, yeah, California is always a blast. We go twice this year. We're going in January. UC Irvine, USC, and Concordia, and then back again for spring break for Cal State Northridge and San Diego. So just two really great kind of measuring sticks along the course of the year for some really top level teams out in California. Kind of where do you stack up in January, and then what kind of progress can you make in a few months, working hard back on the East, and then come back out and see what you can do in March as you kind of get ready for the backswing. And I thought that was one of the keys to last year's season was I saw some really significant growth. We went out and played USC and then Hawaii last year in January, and then we came back in March and we played San Diego, Northridge, and Long Beach. And playing Long Beach, you just saw a tremendous amount of growth in our team over the course of those few months, and it led us into a really nice back part of the season. I think we won 7 or 8, maybe 9 games in a row leading into the playoffs and the EIVA championship, which was pretty cool to see. So, we have the method set up. Now we just got to put in the work and see what we can do.
Well, I cannot wait to watch you guys play. I'm right in your backyard, so hopefully I'll be able to make it to a couple of games this season. But with that, I think that'll wrap us up for our first interview of the EIVA Media Day with Princeton. Guys, thank you so much, and I really appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you.
Thank you.